Hello students, welcome back into the another session of CS07 data structure using programming in C. As all of you know that we are discussing about unit number 4, that is linked list, and various concepts related to this chapter we have discussed, like the concept of single linked list, concept of double linked list, and then we have reached up to the final discussion of circular linked list. This is the last topic as per the prescribed syllabus of Saurashtra University for linked list in data structure using programming in C. So without wasting more time, let's start with circular linked list. First we will discuss about the theoretical section of circular linked list. As the name is suggested, a circular linked list organize the number of node in circular way. That means whenever the creation starts, that means whenever we create the first node, its starting, data and ending must contain appropriate values, appropriate references. Then by continuing the creation of second node, third node, fourth node, fifth node or so on. Say for example, suppose we have created 5 nodes. Then the next part of fifth node references to the starting of linked list, that is the first node, first section. Automatically it demonstrates the linked list in circular manner, or in short we can say that last node references to the first node creates the architecture of circular linked list. As far as the programming is concerned for circular linked list, we'll make it simple because this is a little bit complicated concept to understand. So we have reduced the programming line into the circular linked list, but we will see it into the programmatical section. First, we'll clear the theoretical concept of circular linked list. So into the theoretical concept of circular linked list, first came into the consideration is implementation of circular linked list. So the implementation of circular linked list says that in circular linked list, pointer of the last node points to the first node, and it can be implemented as a single linked list and double linked list also. Again, I would like to repeat the two lines. Circular linked list is a one type of data structure in which last node references to the first node, but it can be implemented in single linked list as well as into the double linked list. No doubt we will implement it in single linked list type. Now what are the advantages of circular linked list? The advantages of circular linked list says that it allows the traversing the list starting from any point. That means you can start displaying the node from any of the number, while in single and double linked list, always whenever we traverse the linked list, it displays the information of node from the first node itself. So this limitation overcomes into the discussion of circular linked list, where we can start displaying, which is also called as traversing, the nodes intermediately from any point. Second, it allows quick access to the first and last data of the node, which is called as records. Into the circular linked list, it is very easy and fast to retrieve the information of the first node and the information of last node onto the screen. And the third and one major advantage of circular linked list is that circular linked list allows the traveling or displaying the information of data in any direction. That means you can start displaying the circular linked list either from right hand side or either from left hand side. Say for example, suppose I have a node into the circular linked list like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose I start displaying the right hand side nodes, then my starting point is 3, then it will display 4 and 5. If I start displaying from left hand side, then my nodes are 1 and 2, as 3 is the starting point. So in this way, circular linked list provides these three types of facilities, or we can say these three types of advantages. Before going into the more detailed discussion about the circular linked list, it provides a similar functions like a single and double linked list, like creation of circular linked list, then insertion at first, insertion at last, insertion on a specific location, insertion based on information, then relevant delete operation like delete first, delete last, delete specific location, delete based on information, so on. But right now, we are not going to implement all these things. We will just implement a two operation where it creates the circular linked list and it will display the circular linked list to make the program easier. So let's start with the same. Let's execute the code first. A very simple code of 60 lines I have written over here, where it demonstrates the functionality of circular linked list. As you can see that there are no syntactical errors are there. Let's execute it. There is a simple input and for break option is there, because a very less number of line I have written. You can implement it same like my single and double linked list program, but right now I have not designed a complete menu for that. What over here we have to do? You have to simply press enter. It will ask for the information of first node. Say for example, the information of first node I am giving 10. Again, input and for break will come. You have to press enter. It creates the second node. In second node, suppose I am giving the information called 3. Then I am creating the third node. In that I am giving the information called 6. Then it creates the fourth node. In that I am giving the information called 9. Then it creates the fifth node. In that I am inserting the information called 10. Again it returns input n for break. Now over here I am giving n and press enter. What it displays? It displays that total number of 5 nodes are created. In first node, it contains the information 10, which is reference to the second node, which contains the information called 3. Second node, reference to the third node, which contains the information called 6. Third node is reference to the fourth node, which contains the information called 9. And fourth node, reference to the fifth node, contains the information called 0. And this 0, or you can say the fifth node, is reference to the first node, which is called as 10. So it just traverses and create the circular linked list. Whenever you press enter, program gets terminated. So this simple line of code we have to implement yet for circular linked list. So let's see this particular code into the notepad for better visibility. The code is like this. Let me remove this commented section, no need to write this. So it will reduce the 2 to 3 lines. Fine. Now no commented lines are there. First write down the definition of this program. That is, write a program to implement, create and display, which is also called as traverse. Write a program to implement, create and display function for circular linked list. So this is the simple definition for create and display. Let's move on. First 2 line of code is common. Justification of these 2 lines is already given for into the circular and double linked list. Still I would like to repeat it. First line of code is hash include stdio.h. Obviously it is pronounced as a standard input output.h. It's a standard library function for enabling the compiler to identify the C program. Then second library function is hash include malloc.h. It's a dynamic memory allocation library statement, as we are using pointer and creating the node into the memory. So we are including malloc.h. Then the node itself is a one type of logical structure. So I have declared structure link. Here you can also use the word called node, but in this program I have used the word called link. Structure link, into the bracket it holds one information. In my single and double linked list I have stored the dual information of student, that is roll number and name, but in this, to make reduction into the line of code, I have used information a single variable. Then that particular structure reference to the new node by establishing the link between the first and second node using the component called next. This next is a pointer component. Assigning the first node as a starting node and new node, here I have declared as a pointer variables. Then 3 local variables are there. I is for maintaining the serial number. Count is to identify that how many number of nodes already created by the user, and number is the node number. Then 2 functions are there. One is create a circular list and display circular list. In both the functions, that means in these 2 function prototypes, common type I have taken, that is function with argument without return value, and in both this function I am passing the structure called link. Once this is completed, into the main section for creating the new node, I need to count how much memory space it should require for creating the blank node. That depends on to the structure that you have created. So that counting is done using the size of operator. Whatever the counting returns into the pointer node, that means blank node is going to be created. That listing, or you can say that size calculation, passed into the function called create underscore circular underscore list function. That function has been called that function is initialized over here, where in that particular function a local variable I have taken called ch for accepting n for not continuing the creation of circular linked list. Node equals to start for assigning first node as a starting node. Node next equals to structure link malloc size of structure link for identifying the next node. I is equals to 0 is initialized for returning the total number of counts, starting with 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. Then there is a message which we have seen while we have executed the program, that is input choice n for break. If that choice is accepted from the user, program gets terminated and it displays total number of node onto the screen. But still we are not inserting n. Till we are not inserting n, it start creating the nodes. That means while choice is not equals to n, that means user has not entered n for breaking the creation of circular linked list. It creates the node. After creating the node, it establishes the connection between the next and previous node. It stores the information into the node just like 10, 2, 9, 0, whatever we have inserted. Again it returns this particular message. If user enters in this message no, it increments the value of I by 1. That means suppose I have created 5 nodes. So at last whenever I have inserted n as a breaking choice, then it returns total number of nodes is equals to 5. So creation of circular linked list works in this way. Once the creation is done, automatically it will display all the node which has been created by the user by just calling the function called display. See, in this program I have not created any type of menu where we have to insert the choice, right? You can design it, but to save the time and efficiency, here I have created only the 2 functions which automatically creates the number of nodes, and once the user has entered the choice called n, it will display all the numbers. So display function first transfers the internal pointer of linked list at the first position. Then every time counter checks that whether the counter is greater than 0 or not. So for 5 obviously it is greater than 0. It displays the information of that particular node onto the screen and traverses into the next node. Then counter becomes decremented by 1. So total 5 nodes are there. First it is 5, it will displace the first node. Then it will displace the second node, but the counter is 4. Then it displays the third node. Counter is 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. Whenever the 0 is occurred, first node is displaced onto the screen, and then counter becomes -1. This condition becomes false. It will not display any node onto the screen. So in this way circular linked list will work. Now it's time to write down this logical line of code for your journal. So just pause your video and write down this selected line of code carefully into the practical books. Fine. Again pause your video and write down this logical line of code. Okay, fine. Again pause the video and write down the display function. I hope all of you have written this particular program. So as per the syllabus, we have completed with the concept of all the concept of linked list, mainly divided into the three sections like single linked list, double linked list and circular linked list. In our next lecture, we will go for the discussion of last unit of this particular subject as per the prescribed syllabus, that is called as tree. In tree, we'll discuss that, we'll identify first that what is tree, what are the properties of tree, then we'll implement a binary tree with their two operation, that is called as insertion and deletion. So till that, listen this particular video twice in a day for just a revision purpose. Thank you very much students for listening me, and have a nice day.